450 square feet can feel like a tight measurement, or it can feel like a beautifully edited life. This tiny house leans into the second idea, using height, texture, and carefully framed views to make the footprint feel calm rather than compressed. The charm is not coming from clutter or cuteness, it comes from proportion, warm materials, and storage that disappears into the architecture. By the end, the most impressive detail may not be the loft or the kitchen, but how quietly the whole plan supports daily routines. I would not call this a small house pretending to be large, I would call it a compact home that knows exactly what to emphasize. So let us start where the design makes its first promise, with the exterior that sets the tone before the door even opens. The exterior works because it does not apologize for being small, it sharpens the outline instead. The steep gable gives the house a confident silhouette, while the cedar and cream panels keep the facade warm rather than severe. Notice how the tall windows are doing double duty, they add drama outside and pull daylight deep into the main room. The terrace is also scaled correctly, not oversized enough to overwhelm the home and not so small that it feels decorative. That balance makes the arrival feel composed, like the house has been edited down to its strongest lines. Inside, the first smart move is giving the living room the best volume in the house. The vaulted ceiling is not just a pretty gesture, it buys breathing room where people spend the most time. A cream sofa, oak shelving, and a restrained rug keep the palette soft, but the black window frames add enough edge to prevent the room from feeling bland. I especially like that the furniture floats lightly instead of blocking the glass doors or the view toward the kitchen. In a tiny home, empty space is a feature, and this room protects it beautifully. The restraint here is doing more work than extra decoration ever could. When the eye can travel from the sofa to the terrace without interruption, the room borrows space from outside. That is one of the best small home tricks, do not fill every wall just because the footprint is limited. Let the best materials and the best views do the heavy lifting. kitchen succeeds because it behaves like a real kitchen, not a token row of cabinets. Honed limestone counters give it durability and a quiet luxury, while the oak cabinets keep appliances visually tucked away. The galley shape is narrow, but the sight line stays open because the upper storage is carefully controlled. A built-in dining nook turns a corner into a daily ritual zone, which is much more useful than squeezing in a freestanding table. If I changed anything, I would add one slim pull-out pantry beside the fridge, but the bones are already very strong. The stair is where this tiny house stops being merely charming and starts feeling seriously resolved. Every riser is treated as storage, but the oak faces are calm enough that the whole wall reads as architecture. Above it, the loft bedroom benefits from the same discipline: low furniture, soft textiles, and nothing fighting the roofline. The black rail is slim, which matters, because heavy detailing would make the upper level feel crowded. This is the kind of small space move that pays off every single day, because beauty and function are occupying the same footprint. Built-ins are often described as space savers, but here they also create visual quiet. That distinction matters because storage that looks busy can make a tiny home feel smaller. By making the stair wall read as one continuous oak volume, the design hides complexity in plain sight. It is practical, but it also gives the room a stronger architectural identity. The bathroom and entry area are where many tiny homes start to feel compromised, but this plan keeps them dignified. The bath uses the same cream plaster, oak, limestone, and brass language, so it feels connected to the rest of the house. A glass shower panel is a simple choice, but it prevents the room from being visually chopped into smaller pieces. Near the entry, the mudroom wall gives shoes, coats, and bags a precise landing place before they invade the living area. That is the unglamorous detail that makes the glamorous photos believable. final reason this tiny house feels lovable is that the design refuses to end at the walls. The terrace, meadow planting, and water feature all stretch the daily living area without adding interior square footage. At dusk, the warm windows make the house feel like a lantern, but the lighting stays controlled enough to preserve the cedar, cream, and oak tones. That restraint is why the home feels cozy rather than staged, premium rather than precious. For 450 square feet, the real achievement is not fitting everything in, it is knowing what to leave out. Outdoor space is not a bonus here, it is part of the floor plan. The glass doors, terrace furniture, and planting all point the eye outward, so the compact interior never feels boxed in. That is why the best tiny homes often feel more connected to their sites than much larger houses. They cannot waste the view, so they learn to use it well. What makes this 450 square foot tiny house memorable is not one oversized feature, but the consistency of the decisions. The cedar, oak, cream plaster, careful storage, and garden views all keep repeating the same calm message: small can still feel complete. If you could borrow just one idea from this home, I would choose the built-in storage stair, because it turns necessity into architecture. Save the details you loved, and let this be a reminder that cozy charm works best when every inch has a reason.